All right, you want to do volume as your last measurement because your grow dinosaurs, as soon as they get wet, are going to get kind of slimy and disgusting. So you want to save this for last, and we're going to use a way to measure their volume called water displacement. And it's a little bit different the first day than it is the next days. The first day, you're going to do water displacement using a graduated cylinder. Now, your graduated cylinder is going to look like this. Unfortunately, on the camera, you really can't see what I'm doing with this graduated cylinder. So I'm going to demonstrate with this. Now, this is a graduated cylinder that's about 10 times bigger than the one that you're going to use, but still has the same basic ideas. What we're going to do is you put water in the graduated cylinder. It doesn't matter how much, as long as the water is somewhere in the middle where all the lines are. Now right now when I look at this, I can see that it is at about 500 milliliters of water. I do this by reading something called the meniscus. When the water is in a tube like this, it curves up. So it looks kind of like this. And you have to read your graduated cylinder from the bottom of the meniscus. So if you'll look at this one right here, you'll see that it dips. So you want to read from the bottom, not the top. So the bottom of this meniscus here says 41 centimeters cubed. Now that's not perfect because we're using the wrong label, but since we're actually going to be measuring a solid, centimeters cubed is correct. Now, once you have your water in the graduated cylinder, then you got to put your dinosaur in. Since I'm using something bigger, I'm using something bigger. When you slide in your dinosaur, the water goes up. So here it was at 500, and now when I look at it, it's at 550. The difference is 50. What I did is I took 500 minus 50, or minus 550, and then I ended up with 50. Actually, it's the other way around, but hopefully you know what I mean. Now, the 50 is the volume of the rock. So when you do this with your dinosaur, you have water in the middle, you take the measurement of the water, you put your dinosaur in, and however much the water goes up is the volume of your dinosaur for the first day. The problem is that this dinosaur is not very big. So your water is only going to go up 1, 2, probably 2 milliliters, too little of the little lines. So you want to be sure that you read your graduated cylinder very carefully. When you look at it, there are long lines going across, oops, right there, long lines going across, and those are the tens. Lower on the tube is a lower number, higher on the tube is a higher number, and each of the little lines represents 1. So this is 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. The bigger line in the middle is the 5 mark, and that's to help keep you straight on your measurements. And that's how you figure out how far up it goes. Now on the second day that you do this lab, your dinosaur is going to get bigger and it won't fit down the tube. So then we're going to use a way of measuring called a water displacement can. It works like this. You put water in the water displacement can. And you fill the can until it's overflowing. And water starts to drip out the end. And you keep it over the sink. And you want it to be just have one little drop just hanging right there. Once you have this can full and you have one little drop just hanging, then you put your graduated cylinder underneath the edge and put your object in, your dinosaur. When you put that in, it's going to push the water out. I didn't have enough water. It'll push the water out. Once the water is pushed out, it'll fill up in here. And however much water goes in here is the volume of your dinosaur. So that's how you want to do volume. Please remember, you want to do volume as your last measurement because the water is going to make your dinosaur icky. All right, next. Go ahead and cut it.